Welcome back to my channel. Perhaps you are thinking about using one of the huge platforms like Saatchi Art, ArtFinder, Saturday 6, Redbubble, Amazon Art, Etsy, even eBay for selling your art. You can. It might be a great idea. However, something could go seriously wrong and you could lose everything and you might be forced to go back to your 9-to-5 jobs, which is not something we want. Perhaps you know that from other videos I make, I have some listings on Airbnb so they can provide passive income so I can focus on my art projects. And I have planned my whole operation with those Airbnb revenues as like basic sources of income, passive income, and then on top of that I built my active incomes, and I need those things to work so I can focus on my creative projects. But last night I just found out all my listings were taken offline and I didn't quite understand because nobody warned me, nobody told me nothing. I just realized that no views, no bookings, no inquiries, and I searched my own search results and my listings were not there, and I was like, this is so strange. So I contacted Airbnb and I was told that because of my ongoing case that they decided to take everything offline without telling me. And I was like asking what was the case, and they were like, oh, don't you remember you have an open case? I was like, uh-huh. Suddenly I remembered that around 10 days ago I made a video on this bloody case, and I can quickly go over the story with you again. And I mean it's a bit off topic, but I will assure you that it's fun. I have a listing with several rooms. One room with a long-term tenant. I will call him Tom. It's just a fake name. And then next to it, there's another room. It's Airbnb rented. The guest, her name is Anna. Make it up. And Tom and Anna were like in peace. Everything was okay. But on a Sunday morning, suddenly someone was knocking at the door, ring, 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 ringing. And Anna decided to open the door to this stranger lady. And as soon as she opened the door, the lady rushed into the apartment, rushed into Tom's room and beat him up. Because this crazy girl is the girlfriend of Tom. They had a conflict. The lady was really, really furious and beat Tom up completely. There was blood everywhere, like in his room and on the floor. And he struggled to call the police, and then the police detained her. Later, she claimed that Tom also beat her up, so the police came back and detained Tom. And I was not in the city, I was in Madrid. And this happened in Alicante, which is around 2 hours and 30 minutes by train. So I rushed back as soon as possible, and my friend was helping me to manage this case. Anna was super furious and upset, and she called Airbnb and filed a claim. And she told me that she would want a refund. I gave her completely a full refund. I apologized because this can happen. It could be like a wild dog coming into your property and bite you and you die of rabies. Like, things can happen, especially when you open the door to this furious wild dog, right? Of course, things can happen. You don't open the doors to strangers. This is like the #1 rule that your parents would tell you when you were a kid at home, right? This had happened. It's unfortunate for everybody. I mean, nobody wanted to happen, obviously. Airbnb decided to take the listings, all of my listings offline. It made a big impact on me. They sent me an email previously 5 days ago saying that you should give me the police report and blah blah blah, and I said sorry, the police don't give me the report because of the privacy of Tom. I don't have the report myself. I could go to the judge, the court, and file an official court case against those two people who made a mess in my property, and I can do that. And they're like, yeah, do that. So unless I do that and have this report, they cannot put my properties back on, and I cannot generate income, and I cannot focus on my creative projects. And I know that this will happen one day because look at Uber. Uber are trying to push for self-driving cars so they can take the drivers out of business so that they can cut their suppliers, cut their costs, and focus on earning money. When you work with a huge platform as a supplier, like an artist, Airbnb hosts, or Uber driver, you are essentially their costs. And if they can cut their costs, they would. At all costs, they would cut their costs. I don't know if that makes sense. But sooner or later, Airbnb will build hotels that are self-operating and kick all the owners out of business. Uber is doing that already, and perhaps big platforms like Amazon Art or like, I don't know, maybe Saatchi Art, no, but another perhaps a huge platform like Getty Images will decide one day to only use, I don't know, copyright free or like Creative Commons materials or like AI generated art, or I don't know, like just imagine. If they could, they would cut costs and kick you out of business so that they can manage their suppliers with a more streamlined and low costs like way, so they can sell with more profit, and they are providing you with the opportunity to sell your art because they can't make art themselves. If they could, they wouldn't use you, and if they could use cheaper artists, they would. I'm just saying that selling your art on those big platforms might be good right now, but it might not be good in the future. Make sure that you have your own website with a web store embedded. Make sure that you have different sources of channels of selling. For example, your social media as one, your own website as another, and then choose 2 different platforms like Saatchi Art, Amazon Art, so that you can combine and you can leverage different sources of income instead of relying only on one income. So that's the lessons learned. I am trying to sort it out. Perhaps now I'm gonna go back to sorting out my passive income case. Although this video is not very relevant, but I hope it can help you get an idea of working with platforms. And if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and leave me a comment below if you have any questions. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.